Hello everyone, I am CorporateNapps and welcome back to my channel. Today, Microlocs, mistakes to avoid. Yes, Microlocs, mistakes to avoid. It's a real thing, people. It's a real thing. We all live and we learn. Some of these are items that I've experienced myself, as well as items that I have known people to experience over time as well. So I have a total of 6 things that I want to speak with you about. As I'm sure you can imagine, there are many, many more. But for me, the 6 Microlocs mistakes to avoid. And as usual, I have my notes down here, so you will see me look down periodically. Remember to subscribe and hit that little bell so that you can receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. Here goes. 6 Microlocs mistakes to avoid. Yeah, it's real. So here's the thing. When it comes to your locks, if you're someone who's been on a natural hair journey for a while, you can be a bit sensitive. So bear with me if I get a bit sensitive during this video. Just kidding. Not really. So the number one item that I would say, and this is specifically if you are a DIYer like myself, you retighten your own microlocks, but it's something to keep in mind if you are also going to a loctician and you may, in between going to a loctician, do your own hair. But the hope is that your loctician is well versed enough or experienced enough to know to avoid these things as well, which hopefully they are. The first thing is over tightening. So we all have different rotations that we use. Some people use 2-point, 3-point, 4-point. I am a 4-point rotation girl, okay? Regardless of what section of my hair I'm in, I'm always doing 4-point rotations. You will find some microlockers who, depending on the section of their hair that they're in, they will use a different rotation. It could be because there's thinning in the area, or the locks themselves may not be as big or as small as the other sections. It could have to do with their texture in a certain section. So it's not abnormal to see lockers use different rotation patterns in specific places on their head. Now, the over tightening thing. The rotation isn't so much of the issue as it is rotating too close to the scalp. If you are in a situation where you are taking your tool, whatever that may be, some people use the Nappy Locks tool like myself, but whatever tool you're using to retighten, if you are pushing on that last 1 or 2 passes through the scalp, if you are pushing that tool through your scalp to the point where you're feeling it, you might not need to do that rotation. You don't want your scalp to be sore after you after you finish your retightening. We all, of course, once we're retightening, want it to last as long as possible and all of that. The reality is, when you wash your hair the next time, it's going to loosen regardless. So remember not to over tighten. It causes thinning, it causes unnecessary thinning, and it can keep the hair or the scalp very sore. So that's the first mistake to avoid. Do not over tighten, okay? The second one would be using thick conditioners. Here's the thing, when we were loose naturals, it was not abnormal for us to do what was called co-washing, right? Where you leave a bit of the conditioner in the hair. You may not even use shampoo at all during certain times and use just conditioner. And with loose hair, we were using thick white conditioner. It's not to say that you can't use thick white conditioner on your hair, but you want to use it sparingly if you have to use it. But the advice is to steer away from it as much as possible. I will tell you that when I travel, I don't take my items with me. I don't take shampoo, conditioner. I use what's in the hotel. So if I've been in water or I've been out in dry heat, if I need to wash my hair for whatever reason while traveling, I will use the conditioner that is in the hotel. Now, I could easily skip conditioner, but if I'm there a few days, I want the conditioner in my hair, and so I'll use what's there, which is usually the thick, creamy conditioner, and I just ensure that it's washed out very well. Again, that's not very often. Usually, if I'm traveling, I'm not going to wash my hair, but there are times where it's happened where I've needed to, whether I got rained on or I'm in the pool or on the beach, whatever the case may be, and I needed to get it washed, and I do use what's there. You just have to make sure you're washing it out very good, okay? So we are not in times with Microlocs where we can co-wash our hair with, with a thick white conditioner. So we wanna ensure that we're using conditioners that are clear, as well as, remember, some people don't have to actually use what's considered a true conditioner. Your moisturizers can serve as your conditioner. So I spoke about in a previous video how I use about 1.5 cups of water in a spray bottle, and I add my essential oils, which are my lemon, my tea tree, my peppermint, my rosemary oils, and I will also add things like jojoba oil, as well as, and if I'm not using the jojoba oil, I may use coconut oil. If I'm not using that, I'll use olive oil. And I use that as my spray concoction to moisturize when I'm at home after my wash. So you are not required to use a conditioner. I am not speaking to people with sister locks because I'm not as familiar with sister locks. I understand that there are certain products that you're required or need to use on your hair. And so I'm not speaking specifically to sister lockers, but to micro lockers, okay? So steer away from the thick white conditioners as much as you can, okay? The other portion, similar to the over tightening, is tension on your edges. So I know that we want slick ponytails like we had when we were loose natural, and so or when we were relaxed, and so we take the gel and the water and a toothbrush and whatever and we pull it back for the gods. We pull it back to our eyes are like, oh, you know. And the catch is with locks, yes, any type of hairstyle, putting that type of tension on the hair can be detrimental. But with micro locks, you have individual locks that will be affected. If you are doing something like that regularly, your perimeter, your edges are going to snap. And I'm not talking about snap like, ooh, good, right? They're going to snap off. We don't want that type of snap. So be careful with the tension that you're putting on your edges. That's the third one. So any updos that you're doing, anything that you're doing where you're pulling back in a low or high ponytail, low or high bun, even when you're wearing hats, ensure that you are being sensitive to your edges. You want to take care of those babies like they're your babies because you need them. You want them to be intact, okay? The fourth item is overdoing it on products. So not just the thick white conditioners, but all these other things. And we were loose naturals. I don't know about y'all, but I had a million products on one side of the sink. I bought everything that was said would do this to 4A, 4B hair. I bought every cream, every moisturizer. I brought anything you can think of that they had out at that time. I was buying it, the gels, to see what I could do to my hair, or to see if it could do what this person's hair did. The reality is with locks, less is more. With micro locks, locks in general, less is more. So you don't have to overdo it with products. As a matter of fact, the more you deal with adding products, the more lint you're going to attract, the more debris you're going to attract, the easier it will be for lint and everything to get stuck in your locks, okay? Then the next one is going too long in between retightening. Yeah, that's a real thing. That's number 5. So I feel a little awkward telling this to you guys simply because I'm notorious for it, but I really would advise against this. I go way too long in between retightnings, but I have learned how to be very careful with my hair when I'm on X number of weeks past my actual needed retightening time. But the average is about 4 to 6 weeks to do retightenings. Personally, I feel like 4 weeks is too long, but there are locticians and DIYers who will tell you that it's perfectly fine. So you have to go based on your hair. But I would say that 5-6 week time period is the time to retighten. It keeps the locks intact. It keeps them compact. It ensures that there's not too much tension on the length, on the root that's pulling from the length of each lock. Okay, so the last one that I have, number 6, is not taking extra care of your hair if you're using permanent color. You want to ensure that you are taking extra care if you are using a permanent color on your hair. Now, I am not a color person, not a lighter color person anyway, but anything where you're using a bleach to turn the color up, you have to be careful. I wish I could lighten my hair, but what I know about my hair personally is when I was relaxed as well as when I was loose natural, going lighter in color did not work for me. It makes my hair break, and so I am not chancing it with my locks. Even though I know my hair is as strong as it's ever been, I don't want to take the chance of my locks popping off. So I steer clear of it. But if you are a color person, some people can color their hair a million times and have perfectly healthy hair. But if you are a color person, make sure that you are moisturizing and taking all of the precautions needed to ensure that your locks remain strong during and in between your coloring. That's it. Those are my MicroLocks 6 mistakes to avoid. I hope this was helpful to someone. Remember, as I said earlier, to click that little notification bell so that you'll be aware when I've uploaded another video. And I hope that everybody is staying safe during this time. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.